Hello, and welcome back to the third part in the four-part series in How to Code Java. Now, I'm Jared Herman, and I believe I forgot to congratulate you in the last video for coding your first program, so pat yourself on the back, a little bit of a belated congratulations there, but better late than never. So, now in this video we're going to be editing this program just a little bit. Now, in the last video, I told you that these quotes told Java that what was inside here should be handled all at once rather than as variables. So let me show you what that means. So let's say we have a variable. So there's a few different types of variables. There's integers, which could be like 1, 3, 5, 2, 22. But you cannot have decimals, so it can't be 22.2. That doesn't work with integers. You can have doubles, which allow integer, so we have double like 2.2, 33.5, 22.9. Okay, you get the idea. So those are variables. So let's make some quickly. Let's add int. Let's say int days equals 3. Let's say it takes you 3 days to complete this video series which I'm showing you. Now oops, Java's thinking for a bit there. Let's have another integer called int rest equals 1. So these are two variables. So if I try to print out, let's say, the number 3, and I try to put in days here, this is to illustrate the point I was talking about before. You may notice that there's quotes around days, so rather than handle days as an actual integer, it will hand it all as one piece. So if I run my program, down here in the console window, you'll see that it just prints out the word days. Now, however, we want it to print out the number 3 since we assigned 3 into days. It always goes from whatever's in the right into the left-hand side. So let's remove those quotes. System.out.println days, and it will print out the number 3. So it will take you 3 days to complete this program. You can also, let's say, you wanted to print out a little bit of a reminder. We could do system.out.print. Have some quotes here because we want to print out a string of words. We'll print out days required to finish series. And it will print out 3 days because there's a space here. And on one line, basically, if you add an ln after this print command, it will give you basically like a new line, a space. So, days required to finish series 3. However, we want a rest day in between. So let's say int total, what should we call it? Let's call it days to complete. Now I chose that really weird variable name because I want you to see that for each new word in a variable you have to capitalize it. So the T in 2 is capitalized and the C in complete is capitalized. That's not required by Java, but it's kind of sort of a coding convention. It's kind of like a rule, like grammar sort of. So let's do a quick little calculation here where we have days plus rest. So now what it will do is it will take whatever days is, add it to the number that rest is, and it will assign it to the days to complete integer. So let's replace days here with days to complete, and it should print out exactly 4, as you can see there. Now let's say we want to edit a bit. Let's say you're a bit of a slow learner and it takes you 5 days and an additional 8 days of rest. So let's run that quickly. As you can see, it'll take you 13 days. Now let's say you want to see how many weeks it will take you to finish the series. So let's say, actually, let's not do that. Let's not do that. I want to talk about a different topic which you will find more interesting. I think you understand the concept of variables and integers. So let's go on to, let's do input. All right, so I want to modify our Hello World program to accept user input. So the first thing we have to do is import java.util.scanner. Oops, this has to be lowercase j. I apologize for that. Now, it'll throw you an error saying it's never used. That's fine, we're about to use it. So, now in the main method here, we want to put in scanner in equals new scanner parentheses system.in. Now what this will do is it will accept user input. So I'm going to what am I going to do here? I'm going to delete all of this. And let's do in.next. Let's do int input equals in.next. Sorry for doing that out of order. Now, oops. Next int. I apologize. Next should be a string. We want to work with numbers, so we're going to do next int. So, and then we're going to print out whatever's an input. Input. Okay, so let's run this quickly. So what this will do is it will take input from the user, assign it to this integer variable here, and then output whatever we just put in. So we need to put in a number 3, it'll echo back 3. However, let's say we want some instructions. So let's do system.out.println input a number, and we need a semicolon there, and then we want to system.out.println. Actually, let's do it on the same line here. We need quotes, 2 quotes with your number in the middle plus input. So since we're doing a print line, this doesn't actually add input to this string. All this does is basically more or less takes this string here, your number, and then puts input after it. So let's run it quickly. So let's input a number. Let's put in 77, and our number was 77. So that's adding input and output to our program. In the next part of the series, this was a pretty quick one, I'm going to talk about loops and logic. So stay tuned for that one. I will see you next time. Thanks for listening.